G'day guys, I'm Matt Brand. Oh, this is the BMW 5 Series. The 2021 BMW 5 Series has just been facelifted, and it does come with some pretty nifty new additions. Some of this car is starting to show its age a bit since first being released in 2016. I will say though, and spoiler alert, this car is still very much the best driving in its class. Of course, there is a lot more, there's a lot more to talk about with this 5 Series, so we might as well just get straight into it. Starting with the front end, BMW have given me the mafia spec of the BMW 5 Series with blacked out everything. And I think this is the meanest looking car on the road. First of all, and new for 2021 is the perfectly sized kidney grills. They're not overdone, they're not underdone, they're perfect. Of course, these are optionally blacked out with the shadow package, and so it does give it a really, really mean look. Fun fact, these are active grills, which means they have shutters within them that open and close depending on whether or not the engine needs cooling. Quite interesting. Excuse me here while I give it a bit of sauce. Oh man. The headlights are new for this facelift as well, and they are also just beautiful. These are the laser light headlights, which are optional extras, but I highly recommend them because they are so good looking, and better yet, they are extremely bright. I love the daytime running lights within them too, and the turning signal indicators are like this new little L shape, and then you get a nice bit of blue at the top of them too. It's a cool touch. Oh, and of course, because they are luxury lights, you do get a little dancey dance on startup. And then down the bottom is a redesigned front bumper, and you of course get air curtains to streamline air across the side of your BMW 5 Series. But it's still a cool look. Overall, I love the front, and the side is just classic BMW sedan, which is to say, awesome. From the side, it continues to scream gangster. First of all, let's talk about these optional 19-inch blacked out wheels, which do look so mean, especially with their red painted optional calipers. You could probably just leave it at the M Sport blue calipers. I think they would look just fine. Though I will say the 19-inch wheels do look maybe a little bit small compared to the side of the body, but it is a good thing because it means you get more tire tread, and that means you get a more comfortable ride. So I kind of like them. And then with the side, that's really it. Not much else to talk about. And then moving to the rear, and new for 2021 are these 3D effect LED tail lights. They look so cool. They weren't lying when they said 3D effect. It really does look 3D, very bulbous, but again, it's just such a beautiful look. And I just think it works so well in this Mafia spec. Classic for BMW is the integrated ducktail spoiler, which is admittedly quite small, but you can see it if you look from the side. Although quite disappointingly, down the bottom, you do have a gray rear diffuser. It almost looks unfinished. I don't know. I wish it was black as well, but it's a minor complaint. And thankfully within them, even though this is a diesel, it do get 2 real exhaust tips, which is unheard of for a diesel car. But I love BMW for keeping it real and making sure that we do still get real exhaust tips, even when they're probably unnecessary. Overall, I love the way the BMW 5 Series looks, even in this relatively minor facelift. I think the addition of the tail and headlights are really, really cool, and the 5 Series is still honestly one of the best looking cars on the road today. But I'm curious to know what you guys think, so down in the comment section below, I've left a little thread, and in it, I want you to tell me what you love or hate about the way that this 5 Series looks. I've left my thoughts down there, so go down, see what I have to say, and let me know if you agree. Now I want to move on to the interior of this Mafia Spec 5 Series because that theme continues, and I want to start with the overall look, layout, and feel. Although I can't say that BMW has the most beautiful interiors out there, I can certainly say it does have the best built and best feeling interiors you can buy. There are soft touch materials absolutely everywhere. In fact, you will be hard pressed to find any hard scratchy plastics within here. It does feel super luxurious and super premium. One design touch that I hate, so I'm going to give it some sauce. This thing's fast. But one design touch I hate because it's optional is piano black everywhere. Whoever did this, I hate you. Look, it's not the end of the world, but the thing is, it has already scratched. This car has done 1,000 kilometers and it is already scratched on the dash and leaves fingerprints and dust everywhere. Why? If you get a 5 Series, stick with the wood. It looks great, feels great, it's better. Never ever option piano black. Just don't do it. Other than that though, it really is the best in the business. Everything feels robust, it feels so well built. It's good. In terms of ergonomics and practicality, well, BMW exceeds there too. For example, the steering wheel is tilting and telescoping electronically, of course, though super adjustable, and I mean super adjustable. The seats are also adjusting in like 400 million trillion different ways. It could be because these are optional seats, of course, but it is so easy to get into the perfect seating position. Storage space is pretty good. You do get 2 cup holders up front. Of course, you get more in the doors, and the door bins are a decent size. The glove box is also big, and so is this beautifully dampened center console. Oh, I just love opening and closing it. I will say though, the phone storage is where you start to notice this car's age. Clearly, it was designed for smaller phones. My Galaxy Note 20 Ultra, which admittedly is a big phone, but not much bigger than every other flagship out there, it doesn't fit. So I could never, ever use that wireless charging feature. So if you have a big phone, consider that. I guess now's a good time to talk about I/O. You get a USB port up front, you get a 12-volt socket, and then you get a USB-C port in the center armrest, which I will now close again luxuriously. As I said, the seats I'm sitting on are optional Napa leather, and boy, are they so comfortable. First of all, their design is truly stunning. I swear that seats now are becoming like an art piece, and this looks just like that. As I said, they are super adjustable in literally every way. Look, I'm gonna move forward the back part of it. It's just gonna whir forward. Why is that a thing? Hey, I'm not complaining. And even though these seats are optional, you get heated seats, but not cooled seats. Why? In Australia, it is often hot. I would rather have cooled seats. In fact, I'm so angry about these seats, I'm gonna give it a bit of the sauce. Oh! This is the best driving car in the class. But of course, we will get onto that later. Moving on to the steering wheel, and it is a big, beefy boy. It is the M Sport steering wheel, and as a result, yeah, it's massive. But actually, I love it. It is so comfortable to hold in the hands. It's made of beautiful leather. I think its design is actually one of the best out there. And better yet though, it is super functional. On the left-hand side, you have your safety system controls and you have your cruise controls. And then on the right-hand side, you have your media controls and your phone controls. Unlike a lot of other cars, if you want to play around with the menus on the digital instrument cluster, you have to use the turning signal indicator, which is a bit weird, but hey, it works. Big shout out though to the safety systems on this 5 Series. As standard, at least on this 530D, you do get the adaptive cruise control, which is just so good. It is probably the best out there because it is one of the only systems that when you come to a stop, it'll restart automatically. It centers you into the lane. You get this cool graphic in the center to show you other cars, if they're a truck. It's amazing. While we're here, we might as well talk about the instrument cluster, which is one of the best, but not the best. On the left-hand side, you get a digital speedometer. On the right-hand side, you get a digital tachometer. In the center, you get your maps or your safety system controls, depending on what mode you're in. And then on the right-hand side, you can change information, but not a huge amount. And that's really the issue. It's not very customizable. Certainly nowhere near as customizable as the MBUX system you get in Mercedes or the Audi virtual cockpit, just in terms of that customizability. But still super sharp graphics, it looks great. And when you do change between comfort, sport, and eco, it does change the look a little bit. Also new for 2021 is this 12.3-inch infotainment display, which is a great unit. Now, although it's not the latest design language from BMW with the 2 screens in line, it's kind of like you're surrounded, cocooned by screens. And yes, you do get giant bezels on this screen. It still looks great. And let me tell you, it is extremely functional. In fact, in my opinion, the iDrive system is probably the easiest system out there to use and certainly one of the best. This is running on the latest iDrive 7 operating system, and it does now come with Android Auto. I would clap, but I'm driving. So yes, this car is super functional. Navigation, digital radio, as I said, Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Did I mention both of those are wireless? You can control the screen as a touch screen, which is really easy to do, or you can use this perfect rotary knob right in the center. That does come with buttons around it, but let me tell you, this is like the best in the business. And then you also get physical buttons in the dash too. So it's a good system. It's certainly not the most modern looking, but I would say it is probably the most functional. Oh, and also it comes with an insane Harman Kardon sound system. My God, it is incredible. I actually used to sell audio equipment, and let me tell you, this is some of the best sound I have heard in a car. And then we have the air conditioning controls, and my biggest complaint is that there are a lot of buttons going on here, but it is very easy to use, especially after driving this car around for a week. I feel like I can navigate it pretty easily, even though, yeah, it's a bit of a cluster of buttons. And then in terms of rear seats, you get the same beautiful Nappa leather back there as well. It is almost more comfortable to sit back there than it is to sit up front. At 5'11", I have plenty of leg room, toe room, and headroom. And of course, being a luxury sedan, you do get air vents back there, and you get another 2 USB-C charging ports. Weirdly, it is not a tri-zone climate control. That's probably an optional extra, I'm sure. That is a bit of a shame. Even the G80 Genesis, that $95,000 new Genesis that I'm reviewing it next week, so definitely subscribe for that. I mean, that comes with a tri-zone climate control. But anyway, being a full-size luxury sedan, of course, you get a full-size luxury boot. And it is absolutely gigantic. 520 liters of boot space with the rear seats up. Put the rear seats down. I don't know, you get 1 billion liters. It's big. So yes, practicality is absolutely a strong point of the 5 Series. Of course, what you want to know is how does the BMW 5 Series actually... how does it drive? Well, still to this day, the BMW 5 Series is the best driving car out of all of its competitors. I'm talking Audi A6 and Mercedes E-Class, its biggest competitors. This is the best. In terms of engines, you have 6 available to you. That is 4 petrol, 1 plug-in hybrid electric vehicle with a petrol engine, and a diesel. The car I'm driving here today is the 530D, or the diesel. I will say though, very soon I will be getting the M550i to drive around for a week. I'm so excited, so make sure you go down and subscribe so you can see as soon as that review is uploaded. Powering the 530D is an inline 6-cylinder turbo diesel engine, and it pumps out a very healthy 195 kilowatt of power and 620 Newton meters of torque. All of that power is sent through to the rear wheels via a buttery smooth 8-speed automatic torque converter transmission. And believe me when I say this thing, it's fast. The 0 to 100 or 0 to 62 miles an hour is, it's around about 5.7 seconds. This thing is fast for a diesel. Oh man. Of course, this is a luxury SUV, so it's not all about outright speed. So let me put the car into comfort mode, and wow, it is comfortable. So as standard on the 530D, you do get adaptive dampers. And while this is definitely on the firmer side, considering it is just sporty, you can't defy physics. It's a heavy, big car, yet it remains sporty. It means the suspension is stiff. But let me tell you, I am so comfortable. First of all, the way the engine is tuned, it's almost like it's not even there. Revs are always low in comfort mode, and that's exactly what you want because upshifts, downshifts are seamless. It's like, as I said, it's not there. In terms of suspension, as I said, yes, it's quite firm. Even in comfort mode with the adaptive dampers, you know, you can still absolutely feel undulations in the road, but it's really not bad. Again, there are trade-offs to having the best driving car in the class. It means that you do get a little bit of firmer suspension, but let me tell you, the difference between comfort and sport is so noticeable. In comfort, you are very, very comfortable. Put the car into sport mode and yes, everything starts to get pretty serious, but in a good way. It's certainly not unbearable. And the best part is that it is a true sports sedan. So planted, there is no body roll in this sports mode. When you take a corner, this thing is so planted, you feel like you have so much control. BMW absolutely make the best driving cars out there. This 5 Series is no exception. Handling is also perfectly tuned. Right now I put the car back into comfort mode and it is light but so precise, and it just means that when you are dashing around town, everything is like, it's perfect. I honestly don't know how else to describe it. But we put the car back into sport mode, take a corner, and handling is just absurdly good. I cannot get over the way this car drives. I can't get over it. If you care about fuel economy as well, then go for this diesel. It's actually quite interesting. Out of all of its competitors, the BMW 5 Series is the only one to provide a diesel engine here in Australia. Odd. But right now, even with my stupid, silly driving over the last week, I'm averaging 6.8 liters per 100 kilometers. That is insane. It's just so good. It means you can have a fuel efficient car, yet still have a car that is so quick. It's not funny. So the question that's on your mind is it worth it? Well, the BMW 5 Series starts at just over 110,000 Australian dollars. Drive away for the 520i base model. That car in itself is a great car, drives like a dream. Step up to the 530D and you can expect to pay just over $140,000 $150,000 Australian dollars. Of course, that is drive away, and because this 5 Series has only just been released and I don't really have the drive away pricing with all these optional extras on this one, expect to pay about $150,000 Australian dollars. While it's hard to ever say yes, $150,000 Australian dollars for a car is absolutely worth it, I can say that if you are in the market for a luxury full-size sedan and you want the best driving dynamics out of all competitors, then absolutely the 5 Series is worth it. It drives so well and is just so engaging to drive, very dynamic. It's awesome. Sure, you're not going to get the most beautiful interior, but you will get the most robust, well-built, best feeling probably interior out there. And the looks, classic BMW, it looks gangster. So yes, the BMW 5 Series is worth it. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Why don't you click over there and watch my GV80 review. It is just an insane luxury SUV from up-and-coming brand Genesis, who are gonna give BMW a run for their money. Of course, go down there, hit the subscribe button and the like button. It really, really helps the channel out. Comment down below, what do you think of the BMW 5 Series? And as always, I will see you next week.